Hi everyone, my name is Angelo Montanaro and I'm a freelancer clarinetist and chamber music professor at the Conservatorio Superior de Castilla y León in Salamanca, in Spain. First of all, I would like to thank Michael for asking me for this video. So let's start. Before showing you some exercise that I usually do, I would like to explain my point of view about the warming up. I don't really like the idea that we need to warm up, but a daily exercise, it could be the best approach to find what we're looking for. Let's think about auditions, concerts or lessons. We have to be at 100% directly from the first moment. And most of the time we don't have space or time to warm up. For me, the aim is to improve the technical approach and to do a deep analysis of our weaknesses or strong points. So, if we start with this idea, I think that we could change our aptitude. Another concept I would like to express is that every exercise I do is a small resume of the most interesting technique I learned with teachers, friends, colleagues, and by myself. Almost everything is already done, so the only difference is how to combine or mix them. Only 9 exercises per day in maximum 35 or 40 minutes. The idea is to dedicate this time per day to do almost everything I need on my clarinet, trying to find my voice, changing dynamics, articulation, rhythm, but in a very concentrated way and time. Try to use less time as possible in order to be effective and to combine different aims in the same exercise. Then you can use everything and improve your music skills on the pieces that you are studying or practicing. Exercise number 1, vocalization. Work on the homogeneity of sound, legato and intonation, especially when you change the dynamics. Turn on our friend, the tuner, and do the exercise very slowly. Pay attention to the smooth movement of fingers. Feel like a snake, always in contact with the clarinet. Pay attention to the intonation of the interval and to the placement of every note, working on the timbre that you want. I normally use the Carbonaris book, but it's quite similar to any other wind instruments book. Just take a vocalize exercise and do it. I will do this exercise twice, once piano, and the second time a little bit more forte, because the reaction of the air and the fingers is different in piano than in the forte. And of course, also the intonation in the diminuendo is changing. We normally go up, so we need to control and stay down. And the reaction of the air against the finger is different in piano than in forte. So it's very good to learn how to do in both ways. Exercise number 2, arpège from Lancelot Exercice de Vélocité. I did a personal copy of few pages of some books of Jacques Lancelot, and that are always in my clarinet's bag. I really like it. With this exercise, I try to keep homogeneous sound but a little bit faster than the exercise number 1. I am looking for a quick response and flexibility because I use a bigger register than before. Exercise number 3, scales and by memory. For me, it's a good way to train my mind, combining different articulations, legato, and doing variations. I do the variations in a space of an interval of sixth, and like that I force myself to think about intervals of third and fourth. I will explain you. So, for scales there are a lot of ways to do it. I prefer this one. I start with the old octave, I am going back, and I start again with the upper note, like that. Etc. Then I do the first variation. It's a little bit hard to explain this kind of variation, but I'm sure that you can understand when after listening and you can reproduce easily. First variation, I start with a third in a maximum range of a sixth. So from Do maximum to La, from C maximum to A. But I start with a third. Going back, etc. Then the second variation, I start with a mordente on a Do, Do, Re, Do, then a third, Mi, and then a fourth, La, So, Fa, Mi, Re, Fa, Si, La, So, Fa. Going back, etc. Then the third variation, I do the third and then a fourth, and I'm going back with an alternation of second and third, like that. And going back, etc. During all variation, all scales, I always do the staccato, I train the legato, I train staccato corto, cortissimo, staccato legato, as you want. Exercise number 4, that I call it the snake. I try to feel always a contact with my fingers and the clarinet. It improves the legato, the reactivity of fingers, and starts the concept of trills. Sometimes I do also some variation. I really like this kind of exercise. Exercise number 5. The trills exercise is for me one of the most important for my kind of technique. And I think also for a lot of players. It's how to do a precise trill. So I use the Lancelot book to improve it. For trills, I use École du mécanisme 2 of Jacques Lancelot. I use these 2 pages. I really like it. I put the metronome 66 and I do it. And going back. Second line. And going back. Etc. Exercise number 6. Interval of thirds. I take the major and minor tonalities of the day and I do this directly with a variation. Think a lot before moving fingers and feel the up movement of the finger and not the pressure on the clarinet. I try to be really electric and quick with my fingers and at the same time very controlled. Try with really small movements and very close to the clarinet. Slowly. Going back. Exercise number 7. Lancelot, École du mécanisme, book 1. I take the tonality of the day with metronome, for example 72, and I work on it. Then I repeat it twice faster. It makes me very quick in reading and I change fingering every bar or where is possible. So my brain is also working on the improvisation of fingering. So I will try to do twice faster and changing fingering. Exercise number 8. Independence of fingers. Pay attention to the ring finger and the little fingers. Because to move them, we used to be tense on the hand and then on the arm. It means one day a lot of pain. So for this, I work with the Lancelot, École du mécanisme, second book. Try to think all the time on the weight of the clarinet, only on the right thumb and on your mouth. For this exercise, I use L'École du mécanisme, Lancelot, these 2 pages. Is from Cahiers 2, second book. Again, for example, 72 metronome. Exercise number 9. Every day, try to read new scores or new exercise book and transpose in A and C. Maybe in youth is something that we really don't care a lot, but in real life is one of the most appreciated quality. For example, for a last minute substitution, or because we are very busy and we don't have too much time to know the piece. So let's read and transpose every day. And the last advice that I can give you is the most important for me. Try to invent and adapt your practicing style on your exigence. Because maybe after a few years or maybe after a few months, you can be bored of your routine, or you can looking for a different thing to improve. So, in this quarantine, stay at home and take care. Ciao.